Thanks to a single voice in the comments, I got dragged back down the rabbit hole that is the interweb, and I just had to make a response. This is Justa Hustle, and today we're talking about, well, a lot of things. But cuties. I know. I don't want to. You don't want to. Are we even here? Wait. Don't hit that button. We're here to start a conversation as always, but not in the way we at first intended. If you take a look at my previous video on the subject, you might find that I was pretty passionate. I mean, anyone that wasn't might be looked at strangely. But then something hit me. No one cares about my opinion. So I got to thinking, what are other people saying about the subject? My first thought was young brother Chito, Cheto, anyway, who, no, I respectfully disagree. Though many people have not seen this movie, we can still throw the book out the window without looking at the cover. This was the first video I checked out, but I got into a discussion with my wife that led me to a very important angle. That is from women. So I watched a few more videos.
Hey Taters, what's up fam? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com. So as you can see, 4chan is trending on Twitter, and I clicked on it and I came across several tweets, but this one caught my eye. It's by Mr. Cable, and he says, welcome to 2020, where somehow 4chan has higher moral standards than a multi-billion-dollar company. So I clicked on the image and I see what's obviously underage girls in very sexualized positions, especially this one right here. I was saying to myself, how old are these little girls? And then it's sponsored and promoted by Netflix. Apparently, it's going to be coming on as a movie called Cuties. It's going to be airing on Netflix September the 9th. Which is next month. And so I clicked on the next image, and it looks like this comes from the 4chan forum board. The moderators have posted this up, and it says, do not post any imagery from this show which sexualizes children. Anyone posting images or videos sexualizing children will receive permanent bans.
They will try to shut that shit down. Why? Because they want to maintain their positive stereotypes and they want to push those to the forefront. And that is the difference between them and us as black people. They don't glorify their degeneracy in the mainstream. And if they do, it's at a very small scale, and it's usually undermined or drowned out by their better promotion. This is why, the white female twerk teams don't go mainstream like that. The white community is not having it. So I wish that instead of creating petitions to remove Kylie Jenner out of a twerk video, or creating petitions to get Blue Ivy's hair combed, I wish that black women would get on code. I wish that a critical mass of black women could come together in a united front, like other groups of people do, and get signatures to shut these black men down and these black women down when they over sexualize black girls and women, or degrade us in their music or music videos, or just disrespect us in general, instead of making a bunch of excuses for them, or being so divided as black women on everything to the point we can't create any real change.
Defying her family's traditions. Netflix ends up changing it, which we'll get into a little bit later, but goddamn, if that's the first description coupled with this poster, how much more tone deaf do you have to be? I completely understand outrage marketing, and I'm very, very well aware of it. This is just utterly crossing the line. This is not how you do it, and you don't make a film like that in the first place. And another layer on top of this is that the movie is rated TVMA. Not many things get a mature rating, so you really have to cross some boundaries.
God, why are they doing this? Why? I need to know more. I need to watch it to find out why would these kids be doing this. That's the whole point of the poster, is to be shocking and grab the audience and captivate them. And that's what it did. You guys literally took the bait. Took it a little bit too well, don't you think? It's a parody on real life dance teams, like the stuff in dance mobs, which surprisingly the kids wear even more revealing clothing than they do in this movie, to be honest. So if you guys really want to get angry at something, get angry at them, not the people calling it out. A lot of people saying this movie is exploiting little children or little girls because it encourages twerking. It obviously, it doesn't. I'm not gonna say obviously, because y'all aren't getting the message. But like,
And the theme seemed pretty consistent. the majority saying the same thing. Started thinking deeper, an issue I have habitually perfected. This film was seen by audiences. It had won awards.
How did you enjoy Cuties?
I loved it. So far, it's my favorite film of the festival.
Oh, Cuties was fantastic. I didn't know what to expect other than people. I heard people saying that it was very good.
I loved Cuties. It was a fantastic film.
These people don't seem to be offended. What did they see? The hunt was on, and I was off to discover more clues, quickly finding out that, well, that's unfortunate. My first major discovery was one that made my assumptions seem valid. This film was just another mistake among a long list of mistakes humankind has made throughout time. Even if it boasted an award from Sundance Film Festival, one of its actual founders was indicted for sexual abuse. Damn, say it ain't so. It made me think of all the other people that have been suggested of sexual allegations in our very recent past, and I grew disheartened. I mean, we live in a world where we are trained at a very young age to chase attention by any means, and that the easiest way to do it is either make them laugh or make them dance. We all want to be famous, but there is a cost associated that not a lot of people consider until it is much too late, and publicity can make anyone look like a hero or a villain. I don't want to sugarcoat any misdeeds. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and every person should be held accountable to their own actions. If I'm standing comfortably naked in front of you, and you say no to me, I shouldn't be at fault for slapping you with my dick. I'm just saying. There are plenty of people that have been accused of sexual misconduct, and many of them are probably true. That doesn't make it any less despicable. If that's the case, we should all be working to change that, right? If we feel that this is grating, we should be working to change it for the better, right? Van Wagenen was literally sentenced to 6 years for sexually abusing a girl child, and though I didn't deep dive into any of this, the info is out there, baby. Just make sure you do enough research to actually get your factual. Now, I have a couple more things I want to add before I sign off, and it's for all of you out there that think, oh, well, if rap music didn't promote booty shaking and hoeing around, then little girls wouldn't be shaking their things on a television screen. Oh, black people do it all the time. They think it's cute or cool. Oh, have you seen the WAP video? First off, fuck you. And secondly, where's your responsibility? Do you know what your kids are watching? Do you know what your kids are playing? Do you even have the time to find out? I've debated before about doing a report on the destruction of the nuclear family in America, but I'm really trying to get this book done and I'm already behind schedule, but I don't want to bring my children up in a world where I've remained silent. We are living in the age of technology where information is traveling faster than ever and everybody has a voice, or at least wants to, where celebrity is clearly king and popularity is the newest form of currency, where quickly it is becoming clear that the vocal minority that has the ability to zerg the Twitter boards and the YouTubes with information that is not always fact are the main contenders of the societal hellscape, where just because the vocal majority doesn't like the way something makes them feel, they cancel it. This Western mentality is quickly taking over the world where you're either working with something or you're worthless. And this culture seems to be even harsher towards women. In my first Cuties response video, I came off the handle with my emotions and I slightly regret it. Mostly because instead of logically bashing a concept, I emotionally stated opinions. To set the record straight, I still agree with everything I said, but how I said it was wrong. Humanity has allowed itself to be molded by the structures around us, without ever questioning their validities to their own personal standards of living. We allowed the people around us to teach us what we needed, and eventually what we wanted, until we forgot how to survive within our own means. We joke about incest. We jest about Philly of the PEDO. We hide our dirty secrets, and we dismiss our darkest desires. I ain't saying that it's cool. No, there should be a bold, solid line we all follow. But that's the thing. We not only can't all follow one doctrine, we don't have one. and our children are forced to figure it out as they go, something that the older generation makes light and humor of. I don't find it funny that the world seems to be burning down around us. I don't find it funny that apparently over 170,000 people in America have passed away from something that I'm being told by many sources did not exist or wouldn't be here long. In 2014, my main man John Oliver did a report on Last Week Tonight about the Miss America pageant. And I just have to say, nothing says America like beauty pageants.
Government tracking of phone records has been in the news lately. Is this an invasion of privacy or necessary to keep our country safe? Why or why not?
Should people who leak classified documents in the name of public information be charged with treason?
In recent weeks, the U.S. has released 5 detainees from Guantanamo in exchange for 1 U.S. soldier held captive in Afghanistan. The U.S. policy is to leave no soldier behind. Do you think it's fair to sacrifice or swap lives in order to uphold this policy?
What? John Oliver made some amazing points, and you can catch the link to that video in the description, as well as every videographer I referenced in this video. Please show them love if you head over there from the link, because I don't condone that bullshit. Because we have to take a good look at how we're really doing things. The next generation is fast behind us, and only a few people are telling them the rules. Gaming life was supposed to be a representation of all the things in life that could be translated into a gaming understanding. But damn if we're on that subject. We're too busy dealing with the madness of 2020. So, you waited this long. You really want to know what happens by the end of Cuties. It's not pretty. I'm not really sure, but I think I know how Cuties ends. And if it doesn't end like this, I will be utterly mortified. Because it's the only acceptable ending I could imagine that might have someone saying.
Sometimes I enjoyed it, sometimes I didn't, but I was there for the ride, and I love that.
So, you waited this long. You really want to know what happens by the end of Cuties. Not pretty. I'll use my wannabe writing powers to deduce that Cuties will end with one or some of the girls being scarred by an attack. If I'm correct, whole narrative will be building to the climax of the main character learning that what she's been doing, an act of all fun and game, will result in her being thrust into an adult world that has a different definition of fun and games. This is the only ending I could see redeeming Netflix and the film community of Sundance as a whole. If I'm right, still leaves a bad taste. Wrong, still leaves a bad taste. If we are going to be upset, I think it's time we figure out what exactly we are upset about. Some of these items have been upsetting for decades, others for centuries, others. We have the ability, while ears are open, to talk about it, and hopefully, together, we can make some kind of change, where there is nothing to hope for. Really hope you are all enriched with health and wealth. As always, Justa Hustle, and we out.